a strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently. We have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Amadeus.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Amadeus.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Amadeus.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Amadeus.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, given to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Amadeus.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Amadeus.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
All right. Hello, everyone. Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Shakur, and this is your Sunday Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so today is a sad day, honey. Okay, I'm just feeling down in the dumps, but we're going to get into it. Hey there, Crazy Beach Aries. Bronze Flat Power God is in the building. All right, Cookie, Claudette. All right, let's get into it. Hit the like buttons. Okay, hit the like. I see you, Nessa G. All right, and shout out to all of my little royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. Now, before we get started, let's have a brief word from my sponsor. I see you, Desmond. Shout out to my moderators for putting in work.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes Hair Oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. And don't forget about the beard oil. Okay, so let's get into this because there is breaking news. Now, what took me a minute, I mean, I was just going to be a little late, but I was a little bit later because I found out that Shiloh has been cut, okay, after being ejected from the game. So let's talk about it. Bad news for both of these brothers, okay? At the same time, Shiloh Sanders has risked the end of his NFL dream after being ejected for throwing a punch at Buffalo Bills tight end Zach Davidson, the safety who is the son of Dion and brother of Browns quarterback Shedeur has played in all 3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers preseason games, but the red mist descended against the Bills on Sunday night. Now, on Tuesday, the Bucs roster will be cut from 90 to 53, and Sanders' moment of madness could feasibly cost him a spot for the 2025 season. The incident occurred when Davidson appeared to try and rough Sanders up away from the play, pushing him back towards the zone. Sanders retaliates, and the pair can be seen pushing each other in the face before breaking away from each other. Now, the Bucs rookie's red mist then descended as he threw a wild punch at his Bills opponent right in front of a referee who quickly threw a flag and ejected him from the game, honey. Oh, this is all sad. On social media, fans quickly had their say, with many claiming that Sanders ruined his NFL dream in one fell swoop. Saying hashtag Bucs fan, have enjoyed their time watching Shiloh Sanders in a Buccaneers uniform. He's not going to make it. Another one said, not what I meant when I said we'd see Shiloh Sanders fighting for a roster spot tonight. Sanders has played in all three of Tampa Bay's preseason games and has quickly become a fan's favorite despite going undrafted out of college. While much of the focus has been on his brother Shedeur, he has quietly impressed under Todd Bowles, but may have cost himself a shot at making the final roster. Well, that's exactly what it looks like he's done. Okay, that's exactly what it looks like he's done. Now, did any of you see that game? Bronze Vampire guy said, yeah, if you throw a punch, you automatically thrown out. I mean, it is just sad news and bad timing. Okay, that's what it is. I really wish he hadn't done that. Let me see if I have a video of that instant. Hold on. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Mm, mm, mm. Here it is right here. I think this is the video right here. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Hold on. Okay, here we go.
Shiloh Sanders was just released by the Buccaneers after he was ejected in his last game. But a lot of people didn't see this angle of the Bills player holding his face mask.
Sanders, right there, and a shove back. That's not going to be good for either one.
So obviously the guy was holding him, but this guy, Geoff Schwartz, who actually played in the NFL, just completely denied it. I haven't played a single down in the NFL, and I could tell from the first angle that he was being held. Yeah, Geoff played in the NFL for 8 years, apparently, and still could not tell. You have experience playing in the NFL, but I've not played a single down, and I could tell. Like, Shiloh's agents Drew Rosenhaus and Robert Bailey added, they're hoping that he gets claimed off waivers. While some people are also saying Shedeur could be cut, we have Derek Carr saying, I need to understand why we don't get to see Shedeur run this 2-minute drill. Wouldn't you want to see your young QB operate in this situation, get him more reps for the future? Help me understand.
It was all a darn shame. I feel so bad for Shiloh and for Shedeur. Now, in the case of Shedeur, they completely sabotaged the game. They rigged it against him. That's exactly what they did. Stefanski is the devil. Okay, going against somebody on your own team, like that's literally cutting off your nose to spite your face. But I told you all that racist devils will do exactly that. Okay, they will do exactly that. Now for Shiloh has given them all the reason to go ahead and get rid of him. I hate that he lost it like that, but the guy was holding his helmet. You could clearly see that. But in the case of Shedeur, they sent him out there with the worst. Okay, the worst players. These guys likely won't even make the team, according to Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco. Okay, now they had Dylan Gabriel out there shining. Everything was put in play for him. Short calls and all of that. Stefanski made calls for Shedeur that were darn near impossible with what he had to work with. I want y'all to pay attention. It's just all just ridiculous. Now, I'm going to go to what some people have to say about it. Specifically, I want to go to what Ocho Cinco and Shannon Sharp had to say. We'll get to that in a second. But first of all, let's go to Kevin Stefanski to see why he didn't allow Shedeur to do the 2-minute drill. Now, I know why he didn't, and you all likely know why too. Yes, Andrew, it was set up. I mean, when he's having a bad time anyway on the field, then you mean to tell me you don't give him a chance to redeem himself? No. That's how you know it's all set up. Why would you take him out of the game? So that the last thing that everybody remembers is how he effed up. Because he could have come back and turned it all around. And that's what Stefanski was afraid of. This is like so racist. It is literally sickening to watch. We definitely need to be boycotting the NFL. Okay, the fact that things like this can go on blatantly right in our faces. And then everybody who has any knowledge of football knows exactly what happened. They're all doing videos about it. But nothing will be done because look at what happened to Colin Kaepernick. Okay? All the complaining, all the calling out of it all, and nothing happened. It is all just sickening to watch. But I'm going to go to this video of Stefanski's racist behind. Senator really trying to blow the lady off. I know he hated the question was even asked about why he wouldn't allow Shedeur to finish out the game. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance.
You know, to come through at the end there with the field goal, I think was great for our football team. Those guys, I'm really proud of how they've performed throughout off-season program, through training camp. I feel like that field goal put a cap on that, really all that hard work. So I'm really pleased with that. You know, we weren't perfect, like we're never going to be perfect, but I was really pleased with how the effort throughout the day. And then we'll set our sights on, obviously, next week. Have a good week before we take a little break and start week one. But really pleased with how we finished.
Kevin, it was obviously a bit of a rough second half for Shedeur and the entire Browns offense. But why didn't you keep him in for a 2-minute drill? Why did you decide to put Tyler in?
Yeah, obviously we didn't play great as an offense in the second half. That's never on one person. So we can be we can be better in a bunch of areas. And just felt like we wanted to give Snoop a last drive.
Did Shedeur have something wrong with him after the game?
Yeah, he's good.
Walked up to you after taking his walk down to the pylon, and then he walked back up to you on the sidelines before Snoop went in, and he said something to you. You shook your head. I mean, was he trying to get back?
He's a competitive kid. The plan was to go with Snoop there, so but I wouldn't make any more of it than that.
Kevin, how would you analyze the way Dylan Gabriel played?
Yeah, again, you know, you talk about the quarterback position. It's really about all 10 around that player and how he's playing. So I thought he made some good decisions, made some good throws. I know there's plays that he wants back, but as a group, you know, we have plenty to clean up.
There's another PA team is you think you have a difficult decision at kicker?
Yeah, all those type of decisions, Tony, we'll talk about.
Dylan, with that 2-minute drive, Kevin, I know you talk about situations, but what most impressed you about him during that drive?
Yeah, again, just us getting it's an 11-man operation there. Guys getting open, getting the ball out on time. I think did a nice job in a couple different concepts, worked the middle of the field. But, yeah, I was pleased with how that group finished the half.
You say he played better than he did last week, though, Kevin.
Honestly, Jeff, I don't remember last week.
Kevin, is there a long-term concern about Ethan's knee?
Not a lot. Well, we don't have testing, so it's hard to say. I'd say let's get the testing. We'll see.
When Shedeur, it seemed like he reverted to some of the drifting or to the retreating. Is that because maybe he's in there with third and fourth teamers and it's just not going the way he would wanted to, or did he?
I think with all of our players, Mary Kay, there's things that we can do better, and there's some good moments out there, but that's what our job as coaches, to develop our guys.
He said their job as coaches is to develop their guys. Well, he's not doing a darn thing to help try to develop Shedeur. Okay, he gave him the weakest offensive line, period. Okay, third and fourth string players who are not even going to make the darn team. He knows exactly what he was doing. And then set everything up to work in Dillon Gabriel's favor. Ooh, honey, that was horrible to watch. Poor Shedeur had nowhere to go, honey. Okay? I mean, he was struggling. He was struggling. It was so sad to watch. Do y'all hear me? It was just awful. Anyway, I've heard enough from this clown. Let's go see what everybody else is saying. Honey, I just can't believe any of it. I cannot believe any of it. And all the Shedeur haters are acting like, oh, he just didn't know what he was doing and all this. No, they know exactly why that all went down. Okay? This was set up for him to fail. I mean, because here's the thing. They couldn't take it because he made them look stupid the first preseason game. Okay? Him being drafted 5th pick, them knowing that he's better than Dillon Gabriel. Let's just call a thing a thing. But at the end of the day, he made them look so stupid when he showed up and showed out and shined like a light, okay? They couldn't stand it. So now we got to make him look stupid. Now we got to humiliate him. I'm talking about this is buck breaking at its finest. When the other side goes out of their way and does everything they can to sabotage, belittle, demean, and humiliate, okay, a strong Black man. That's exactly what that reminded me of, a slave being buck broken in front of everybody for all to see, the utmost humiliation. I mean, to have that young man out there and he did have a bad game and everybody knew it. He knew it. They're trying to destroy his confidence, trying to break his spirit. That's what that was all about, trying to publicly shame him and have everybody laughing and mocking him. Okay, that's what that was all about. And then to not let him go in for the 2-minute drill. Now that was just the final nail of the coffin right there. This was all methodically planned out, period. Now, with that all being said, let's see what they wrote about it in a couple of these articles. This is what they say. Now, this is from Fox News. I can only imagine. Shedeur Sanders has disastrous performance and final preseason game as fans debate coaching decisions. So Shedeur Sanders netted a negative amount of yards in his final preseason game as a rookie on Saturday, likely leaving him at the bottom of Cleveland Browns quarterback depth chart. Now, the Cleveland Browns rookie came into the game in the third quarter and completed 3 of 6 passes for 14 yards while taking 5 sacks for a combined loss of 41 yards against the LA Rams. Thus, he netted 27 yards for Cleveland before being pulled from the game on the final drive and replaced by veteran Tyler Huntley. Huntley led the Browns offense on a game-winning field goal drive as the Browns won 19-17. It was a far cry from Sanders' first preseason game against the Carolina Panthers on August the 8th, when he threw for 2 touchdowns and was praised by fans and sports stars alike, including LeBron James and Dawn Staley. Oh yeah, they wanted to quiet that noise down. They wanted to hush those whispers. However, many fans and pundits were quick to defend Sanders for his rough outing on Saturday and blamed the Browns coaching for putting Sanders in a position where he had to rely on backup teammates while also calling questionable plays. Okay, like I told you all, they were doing everything to make Dillon look good, okay? Just doing everything. The stuff they were calling for Shedeur was ridiculous, okay? And they knew it. However, they go on to say former NFL quarterback Derek Carr questioned why Sanders wasn't left in the game after or to finish the final drive. Exactly. He says, I need to understand why we don't get to see Shedeur Sanders run this 2-minute drill. Wouldn't you want to see your young QB operate in this situation, get him more reps for the future? I didn't see the whole game, so maybe he already showed enough. Help me understand this. That's what he wrote on X. Sanders himself even told reporters after the game that he didn't think he wouldn't be allowed to stay in the game to finish the final drive. Well, that was the element of surprise for him because that was pre-planned. I didn't know I was out, he says. I was powering up for that 2-minute drive because that's just the situation that every quarterback dreams of. Browns head coach Browns head coach Stefanski was asked why Sanders was pulled from the final drive. And we already heard what that piece of ish had to say. So with that all being said, let's see what Skip Bayless had to say. I'm going to share my screen. Now we know that Skip Bayless, did I say Bailey? Skip Bayless has been going in for quite some time about the treatment of Shedeur in the NFL. Hold on, let me put on some music.
I'm about to unleash about Shedeur Sanders, brought to you by FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. I just watched what happened to Shedeur Sanders in the Cleveland Browns' third and final preseason game. And I'm outraged, I'm sickened, and I'm saddened. By the way, Shedeur continues to be treated in the National Football League now by those sorry-ass Browns and sorry-ass Kevin Stefanski. So, yeah, Flacco started today, and I'll give you this. He played well. He was 9 out of 10 for 71 yards, threw a couple of nice balls. Dylan Gabriel played the second quarter and played well. He always plays well. I know him inside and out. I watched every snap he took for 2 years at the University of Oklahoma. Watched a lot of him at Oregon. He's a good little battler. He will, as he says, compete. He's a little better than Tua is, and he's sort of a carbon copy of Tua, also from Hawaii. But he's a little undersized. His arm's fine. But he went 12 of 19, had a couple of misfires, but 12 of 19 for 129, threw some nice balls. Touchdown pass, wide open to Drake Stoops, another Oklahoma guy. Way to go, Drake. Hope you make the squad. Don't know that you will. Shedeur got the third quarter and then a good chunk of the fourth quarter, and it was a disaster, except for the very first play. Shedeur escaped right, threw a really nice ball up the boundary to somebody named Sal Cannella. I don't know Sal Cannella. I had to look him up. Played, this is fourth NFL team, bounced around minor league football. Undrafted free agent back in whatever it was, 2020, and unsigned as an undrafted free agent. Nobody signed him. He's not even listed on the Cleveland Browns depth chart at tight end. There are 4 listed right now on the ESPN.com depth chart, and he's not even listed. So he's at best the 5th tight end on this squad. Will he make the practice? I have no idea. I doubt he'll make the squad. But that's what Shedeur was stuck with. Shedeur obviously held the ball too long, but he's trying to make a play because he's trying to make a splash. He made a big splash in that first preseason game when everybody was hurt and they had no choice but to play him, and he lit them up. He shamed them and the NFL in the first preseason game with that performance. It was spectacular and completely unsurprising to me because I'm going to say it again one more time. I said before last college football season started that Shedeur should go first overall or Travis Hunter 1-2-2-1, whether the team drafting first needed a quarterback. But Shedeur should have been the first quarterback drafted. And then my man Mel Kiper, who's been doing this a long time, as long as I've been doing it, doubled down and said Shedeur should go first of all the quarterbacks. That was his final mock drafting, his final big board. Shedeur Sanders was the best quarterback in the draft, said Mel Kiper Jr., who's been doing this for a long freaking time. Had him rated and ranked above Cam Ward, did Mel Kiper, and then Mel threw a fit on air that night that Shedeur fell through the first round of the draft, and then continued to fall, fell all the way, obviously, to 144th in the draft, 5th round pick. I know a lot of people think this is just some woke opinion. It's not a woke opinion. I know woke. I'm just telling you, this young man can play quarterback at the highest level in this league. He is capable of being a franchise quarterback and taking a team to the promised land. I watched him at Jackson State. I watched him for 2 years at Colorado. He didn't have much of an offensive line. He still doesn't have much of an offensive line when he gets in the game, especially today. But he's got the whole package. He's got enough size. He's not huge, but his arm is Brady-esque. It's at least as strong as Brady's. He can run, as we saw in the first preseason game. He can move. But the main things he has are poise and command and leadership intangibles that he got from his father. I think the greatest athlete who ever played any sport, Shedeur Sanders. He got some of Deion's personality, his charisma, his captivation. And what he got that Deion didn't have was an arm. He doesn't have Deion's speed, but he got an arm that his father never had in baseball. His father was really a good baseball player, but not much of a put-out guy from center field. He could just run balls down.
Hold on. Okay, so with that all being said, hold on. I thought he was wrapping it up. Let me play a couple of more minutes, and then we're moving on.
Deadly accurate, led the nation in percentage, in completion percentage. Shedeur is as tough mentally and physically as any college quarterback I have ever seen. I got it. He's got the exotic cars, and he's got the attitude. He's got the swag. He's got the, yeah, I got it. He got that from his dad, but he backed it up game after game, throw after throw. You want to talk about clutch toughness? It's Shedeur, and he gets stuck in Cleveland because he said some things in the pre-draft process. He said some things to teams at the combine that were straight, chip off block sort of things that he shouldn't have said. Came across as incredibly arrogant. And the word of mouth, it's not like there's a memo sent out, but the word of mouth all around this league was, let's teach him, and especially his daddy, a lesson. Let's just put them in their place. It was just sickening and shameful to watch. Let's teach them who we are and who they're not. And all those coaches who didn't want to take him were scared to death that if you did take him, that pretty soon the owner is going to be thinking, well, I could get Shedeur Sanders to coach. I'm going there because it's going to create box office, and maybe he's a better coach than you are, coach. He is. Scared to death of him. Even though the irony of this is that, trust me on this, Shedeur and Deion are going their separate ways. It was time. It's time to cut the cord. Shedeur had never been coached by anybody all the way up.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Now, with that all being said, the title of that article from Fox clearly was talking about how Shedeur had a disastrous game. Now, here's what the next title says. Shedeur Sanders has rough second half of preseason finale after fellow Browns rookie Dillon Gabriel impresses. See how they flipped the script? After all the praises that Shedeur got, and Dillon didn't do so great last time, they had to flip the script. Okay, that's what they had to do. All intentional. Okay, so let's get into it. The Cleveland Browns are likely to keep 4 quarterbacks into the regular season. And unfortunately, Shedeur Sanders fans, for them, it seems clear who the 4th quarterback will be to start the season. Now, Sanders' biggest battle this training camp was probably against fellow rookie Dillon Gabriel, who was drafted in the 3rd round. 2 rounds ahead of Sanders. If anything, Gabriel probably moved closer to being the team's second quarterback than moving down the depth chart. He had 2 strong preseason performances, including one on Saturday against the Los Angeles Rams. And while Gabriel played very well Saturday, Sanders struggled in the second half. He didn't pass for a first down, and all 5 of his positions ended in a punt. The Browns lost 9 net yards on those 5 series with Sanders in the game. Sanders couldn't get anything going after Gabriel looked but Gabriel looked very sharp. Gabriel came in after starter Joe Flacco played a little more than a quarter and completed 12 of 19 passes for 129 yards and a touchdown in less than a quarter of work. Sanders, playing his first snaps at home, started the second half. Now, his first 4 drives didn't result in a single first down. He finished 3 out of 6 for just 14 yards in almost a full half of work. He was under pressure on many plays, though he also had a few plays in which he held the ball too long. He took 5 sacks. Obviously, we didn't play great as an offense in the second half. You know, that's what the coach said. Okay, we already know what he had to say. At the end of the day, it was all a load of BS. Okay, that's what it was. Just a load of BS. Flacco played 1 more series in the second quarter, and then his day was done. Flacco played 17 snaps with most of the starters. It might have been a costly tune-up. Brown center Ethan Polkick went down with a knee injury and left the stadium in a knee brace, according to reports. So anyway, are y'all still going back and forth? Listen, we all know that it absolutely is racism. There's no denying that. This right here has nothing to do with anything other than racism and hating, envy, and jealousy about Deion Sanders. Okay, so now let's go and see who is this? Hold on, you guys. Okay, let's go to Ocho Cinco and Shannon Sharp, because they absolutely said that it was sabotaged. Okay, here we go.
Final preseason game, he was 3 of 6, 14 yards, 41 yards, lost on 5 sacks. I know you watched this game as I did. I want to hear what you have to say first.
Well, first of all, listen, Shedeur Sanders didn't play bad. Chat, those that follow me on Twitter, you happy? There it is. He didn't play well. He didn't play well. He played bad, huh? Obviously, he stunk it up. But let me clarify why he
offer some insight.
Let me give you a little insight. So he comes in the third quarter. Am I correct, Unc? It was the third quarter. About then. Okay, boom. So the players that are playing in the third quarter, excuse me if I'm wrong. You can do your homework. Will those players make the 53-man roster, Unc?
A lot of them will not.
A lot of them will not make
Most
the 53-man
will
roster.
not.
Exactly. So again, I'm all for quarterback competition. But if you're going to put him in a situation that is not advantageous to him and competing at a high level, boom, let's give him a chance. Let's give him a chance with the play calling. You know you have an offensive line that isn't playing that well. So what do? Why not just play the short game so he can get the ball out of his hands very fast to run a competent goddamn offense? Purposely running plays that are 10, 12, 15-yard routes, knowing damn well the goddamn offensive line is not going to be able to hold up, is ridiculous. It's clear. Unc, I played football for a very long time. I played in the NFL at a very high level for a very, very long time. I understand in a situation like that, when it comes to the 3s and 4s that you're playing with that aren't going to be on the squad and not going to make the team, give your quarterback a chance.
Let me say something, because some of you all were going back and forth in the chat. Some people saying it's racism. somebody saying it isn't or whatever. Here's the thing. And saying everything isn't about race. Well, in this country, almost everything is about race. That's just the fact. Everything in this country, just almost everything is about race. What are you talking about? The stuff that Donald Trump is doing in Washington, Chicago, that he claims he'll do in California and other places, that's all about race. He's targeting Black people. He's targeting immigrants. It's about race. Okay? Police killings of unarmed citizens is about race. Now, right, I know it may sound crazy or be such a shock to some of you who live in a bubble, who don't see reality, but tend to be a little bit delusional and try to view things as the way you want them to be rather than how they actually are. Most things in this country are about race. Okay? That's a fact. This entire thing that we're watching, that they're doing to Shedeur, it's about race. That's why I said Kevin Stefanski was trying to buck break him. Because that's what they did to Black men who were deemed as the strongest of the tribe or the most arrogant, confident, or whatever you want to call it. Uppity is what they called it back then. So with that all being said, this is absolutely about race. They're doing this because to them, to many of the people in the NFL, Shedeur Sanders is too arrogant. His son, Shedeur Sanders, is just like him as far as they're concerned. So they want to teach both of them a lesson. Just like Skip Bayless said, and how do you think that it isn't about race when even a white man, Skip Bayless, came out and said what he said? Okay, now he didn't say specifically it's about race, but everything he said within the context of his talking points was letting you know just that. Okay? He knows that they would never have done this to Archie Manning. They would never have done this to Peyton or Eli Manning. Because even if they didn't like his father, which they never had a problem with Archie Manning calling the shots or whatever for his sons, but they cannot have a Black man thinking that he's going to be having any say-so on what goes on, where his sons go, and they can't be having his sons shining and taking all of the focus off of everybody else. Imagine you being the starting quarterback, but Shedeur Sanders is getting all of the shine. He's on all the headlines. Everybody's buying his jerseys. They're selling out. That breeds envy and contempt. And imagine you not really liking people who look like Shedeur anyway. Now, but you can deal and tolerate some of them because they make you money and because they allow you to treat them like lap dogs. Some of them do. I'm not saying all of them, but clearly some do. So you don't have a problem with them types, but the type that you really don't think you can control or you can break their spirit or you can talk down on them and it's going to really affect them the way you would like for it to, well, you have a problem. So you do everything you can to humiliate and demean them. That's what that's about. And that at the bottom of the day, at the end of the day, that's all about race. He wouldn't be doing this if Shedeur Sanders was white. So don't sit here and tell me that, oh, maybe he just doesn't like him. Well, that's obvious he doesn't like him. But why doesn't he like him? Let's talk about that. He doesn't like him because as far as he's concerned, he is too arrogant, okay, and too much of a showboat and doesn't know his place because he's a Black man and he's supposed to stand in line with whatever they tell him. They tell him what his place is. He doesn't get to dictate and determine it. And so they don't like that. Okay, they don't like the things that he had put in his contract, how he owns his image and his name, and he gets a percentage of certain things that go on. Okay, they don't like any of that. All right, so anyway, with that all being said, let me continue. One box says it's a lineage hate thing. I know the names to respect in sports, although I really don't follow sports closely. There are jocks that get my respect. Okay, absolutely, beloved. Thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. One box also says, and here in America, it is about race, loudly or silently coming from those beings. Exactly. Exactly. And if you're a Black person, you don't know that, then you must be slow. Because it's all around you. Look around you. It's every day. It's every way. It's in your face. How do you not see it? If you don't see it, it's because you have blinders on. Or you want to look at the world through rose-colored glasses. You think I want everything or most things to be about race? Of course not. I'd like for things just to be fair. specifically the judicial system. Didn't they say justice is blind? And of course it is. Of course it is. All right, so anyway, with that all being said, One Box, thank you for your insight, beloved, and for another contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessing.
Okay, you know what? You know they can't hold up that long? Let's play quick game. Let's play quick game just to get Shedeur in a goddamn rhythm. But no, you come out calling regular offensive plays that are very long, damn near play action if he was under center, knowing they take a while to develop, knowing good and goddamn well the O-line and the people you have out there right now are not going to be able to hold up. Outside of that, Shedeur has to be better in understanding that the offensive line that you're working with right now is not adequate. Get the ball out your hands. Get the ball out your hand. But he's holding the ball for one reason. He's holding the ball because the goddamn players aren't open. He's waiting for things to develop, which is why he's holding the ball and trying to make something happen by holding on to it, by scrambling, moving, obviously running out of area, running out of real estate, and being sacked. I'm not sure what game you guys are watching. Again, I state, Shedeur did play bad. He did. But why he played bad is clear as day if you understand the game of football and what he had to work with. Kevin Stefanski, not letting Shedeur come back in the game to finish the 2-minute drill. Oh, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, he's never seen it before because it's so ignorant to do. Who does that? Who does that? You should want your quarterback to be able to come back and redeem himself and make a great play. Okay, you know how good that would have been and epic? But no, they don't want the epic moments for Shedeur. What are y'all talking about? Not about race. And then D Major, I saw your comment. You said, I agree with you, Queen. All I'm saying is if we make everything about race, then it takes away from the true meaning of it. The true meaning of what? You sound like Oprah when they asked her about Harvey Weinstein. And she said, if we just spend our time focusing on Harvey, then the moment will be lost. That's word salad. What you just said, beloved, is word salad. If we make everything about race, then it takes away from the true meaning of it. The true meaning of what? Okay? We are not making everything about race. That's what you don't seem to get, beloved. We, okay, people that look like me and you, we're not making everything about race. That's what the status quo does. That's why they have the false construct of race. It should just be the human race. But they created that, not us. They created racism and wanton supremacy, not us. So we aren't doing anything, just living in it and playing the hand that we're dealt. That's why when they say that we're playing the race card, well, of course, we're going to play the race card. That's the only card you gave me. What are you talking about? Now, let me continue. Because it's not even Black History Month, but I got to sit here and preach a whole sermon about race. Are you serious right now?
I've never in my life ever have seen anything like that before. What are we doing? What are we doing? No disrespect to Snoop Huntley. Snoop is probably not going to be on the team. He's probably not going to be on the team. So I'm not sure what you were waiting to look. Snoop was on the team simply because quarterbacks were injured. So they brought in the extra body. Why not allow the players that are competing for a job, in this instance, Shedeur Sanders, to finish off the 2-minute drill?
Agreed.
What are we doing? Who makes that call? He makes that call. Why? Because I want the last thing people to see. I want the last thing for people to remember is the mistakes and the sacks that happened.
That's exactly what, didn't I tell you all that? That's exactly what he wanted. He wanted that to be the last thing that people saw. Trying to make him look like he just did such a poor performance, which he did, but it was all orchestrated. Now D Major says, so does that mean that Sanders is supposed to be selected because he's Black? It's not a reason alone. No, that's not what anybody said, and you sound obtuse to even suggest that that's what I was saying. So after all that I said, that's what you got from that? I'm sorry, but are you slow or are you trolling me right now? You got to be trolling me because I know you can't be that slow. Why would I say they should be picked because they're Black? No, because of their talent. Okay, you've heard sports experts, you've heard Hall of Famers say that Shedeur should have been first draft. He should have been first draft pick. Skip Bayless said that he should have been the first quarterback drafted, period. So why would it be because he's black? It's because of his talent. It's because of his genes, his DNA that he got from his father, Dion, who's one of the greatest to ever do it. Okay? I'm sorry, sir. What? Are you serious right now? Please don't ask me anything else and further make yourself sound crazy, beloved. Now, you can't be serious. When have I ever said anything about anyone deserving anything because they're black? It's about the talent. Now, what I'm saying, and let me just break this down one more time to you like you're 3 years old. It's not about you being black. It's about you being deprived of something because you're black. Because if you have all of the talent and the knowledge and the wherewithal, and you have all the stats to prove it, but you are not allowed to excel, to maximize your potential, to be the best that you can be, to shine like a diamond, but they want to hold you back and have you looking like a dusty old coal just because of how you look? Because of your skin color, not because of your talent. That's what I'm talking about. So I don't know how you flip the script. I don't know if you're just so desperate to try to prove your point. That's why you said that. But I know good and darn well that you don't think, especially if you've been following me for even a week, that I sit up here and want anybody to get anything because they're black. No, I want my people to have a fair shot. And when they have the talent and they've made the grade and they've shown and proven that they can do it and they can hold and they deserve the position, I want them to have it just as anyone else would be given it. I want them to have the same shot like Dylan Gabriel has. And we all know that Shedeur's way better than Dylan Gabriel. Okay, please, no more foolishness. I don't have time for this.
I'd give him a chance to redeem himself. Because I think probably what would have happened, okay, we can't have Shedeur come in here and finish this 2-minute drive and go down and get a touchdown. We don't want that. So we're going to leave him on the sideline. So it leaves a bad taste in those mouths. So now there's nothing that they can say. There's nothing that they can say because now you got a small sample size of him playing with people that are probably not going to be on the team. In their bio on Twitter, going to say former. Man, come on.
Now, and D Major, don't listen to me because I'm no expert. Okay, I played football in high school, powder puff football, which of course is a little different. But at the end of the day, I know about football. But even if you don't believe that I know what I'm talking about, listen to the experts. That's why I'm playing their commentary. Now, you heard what Ocho just said. Do you think that he feels that Shedeur should have been given more of an opportunity because he's black? Or did you just hear him talk about the talent that the young man possesses? Okay, some things are common sense. And I always thought that anything understood need not be explained, but apparently not.
Man, but okay. I can't wait to hear your piece. And in chat, for those of you who are listening and watching, I'm not making any excuses for him. He played bad. He played bad. But I can tell you why he played bad. I mean, if you know the game of football and understand the game of football, understand that those that are in there with him during that time, I'm not going to be on the team. Go ahead, man.
I agree with everything you said. He did play bad. And you and I, we come out here and we talk 4 or 5 nights a week, sometimes 6 nights a week. We've gone 6 straight nights. We've gone 9 straight days before. And what we do, we tell it like it is. TIS. Like my grandma say, boy, tell it like it TIS is. We tell it like it is. Shedeur did not play well today. He played awful. Everything that you said is true. Shedeur, you know this offensive line is not competent enough to give you protection. And I understand it says, Ocho, I'm in competition. I saw what Dylan Gabriel did with the guys that's probably going to be on the team. I'm trying to match that. But what happened is that they didn't give him the necessary pieces in order to match this. If you want me to fight, if you want me to win a war, give me the weapons.
Exactly. Anybody that knows anything about football can clearly see that they sent him out there in the middle of a boxing ring with his hands tied behind his back. That's basically what they did. And he did make some bad decisions, but how could he make good decisions when he's sitting there? It's like crunch time. And then he all of a sudden realizes what's going on. If we're sitting here watching the game and we were shocked and appalled to see what was going on, that his own coach is against him, right? To his own detriment, mind you. If we're sitting there in shock, what do you think that Shedeur was thinking right in the moment when he realized that I'm being set up for failure? He already saw that he had 3rd and 4th string players out there, okay? While Dylan had the cream of the crop. These dudes are likely not even going to make the cut. Right. Exactly, DJ Big Six. A bunch of scrubs. What do you think he was thinking? Okay, please pay attention. Hold on, let me read this comment. If I don't like this comment, you better be blocked because I think you're trolling. Said that was the right thing to do, what Dylan Gabriel did, throw the ball away. Don't do what Shedeur Sanders did, hold it on to it. Well, he was trying to find somebody open. I'm sure. At the end of the day, everybody makes mistakes. I'm not saying Shedeur's perfect. Yeah, he did make some mistakes, but look what he had to work with. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Emmanuel Brito said racism is way too sophisticated to waste Black intelligence reasoning with intentional hindrance. Sonny, you said a word, beloved. Now that is what I'm talking about. You're absolutely right, beloved. On that note, let's get back to the commentary. I absolutely love it.
You can't expect me to win a modern war with muskets and cannons. They use drones now. They use stuff with precision, pinpoint accuracy. So you're expecting me to win a modern game and you're giving me old time. That won't work. So right. Shedeur has to do a better job of getting the ball out of his hands. Ocho, he has some time. It's okay. Coach, hey, that ain't my game. That's Lamar Jackson. That's Josh Allen. That's Jalen Hurts. That's their game. Buying time like that. Shedeur has in a pocket. He can move side to side, but he doesn't have that ability, that escapability, like these other quarterbacks, like the poor I mentioned. I don't understand.
It started with a totally innocent free trial, and now everything's changed.
Why you would let Snoop Huntley take the 2 minute? Unless he's going to be one of the 4 quarterbacks that's going to be on your roster, you give that to Shedeur. I agree with what you said because you said, look, we've seen guys play bad, be great in the 2 minute drill, and you forget they played bad the entirety of the game. I don't know what's inside Kevin Stefanski's head. Maybe he's like, hey, I wanted Snoop, we're gonna end up releasing him, and we wanted him to go. Look, Snoop Huntley's been in the league 4 or 5 years. He started several games for the Ravens when Lamar Jackson would hurt. Hell, he started a postseason game. So this notion that you doing him some type of favor when the man has been in the league 4 or 5 years, he started 6, 7 games in his career. He started a postseason game. It's just disingenuous.
Major Skellum, please leave me alone talking about I apologize for having a contrary opinion. I thought you didn't mind if we had contrary opinions. I'm trying to comment in good faith. Major Scale, are you trying to get on my nerves today? Because it's not going to work, beloved. Okay. Now, Lord knows I love a contrary opinion as much as anyone. Okay. I absolutely love contrary opinions on this channel. We accept that. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, you sound crazy, okay? You know darn well when you sat here and suggested that I was in any way, shape, form, or fashion implying that Shedeur should be given something just because he's Black. Now, you sounded crazy, okay? You did, okay? This isn't about your opinion. I'm talking about you purposely saying something crazy. Now, good and darn well that's not what I ever intended, okay, for it to even seem as though I was saying, okay? Anybody, no matter your race, color, religion, ethnic group, whatever, okay, sexual preference, whatever, you should get exactly what you deserve because of your talent and your ability and your experience and your expertise, your accolades, your credentials, those things, nothing pertaining to your race or your ethnic group. All right? Please sit down. Now that I make myself perfectly clear, I didn't say anything that I said to you because I didn't like your opinion. I was just saying that that you really don't think that, do you? Of course you don't. Now, you were being facetious. Now, let's continue talking about your contrary opinion. I am so done with you right now. Now Easy's talking about we have too many Negro pens. Y'all are nefarious. Let me continue. Can I get through my live, please? No more interruptions, please.
With all that being said, I agree. The offensive line wasn't very good. And the one thing that a coach used to always tell me, he said, son, don't make a bad play worse. You see your offensive line break down, Shedeur, don't make a bad play worse. Don't run around and lose 5. Don't lose 10. He got sacked 5 times, lost 41 yards. Fumble the ball. Come on. You got to be better than that. And I understand when you're in competition, Ocho, I'm trying to compete. So I'm going to scratch, claw, and do whatever I think is necessary that's going to help me put me in an advantageous situation so I can compete, so I can win. But I don't get what they did, why they did it. Some things is not for some things is offered without explanation. Some things you and I can't explain, even though with the 30 plus years between us of NFL experience and a number of Pro Bowls and all pros, both of us are in our team's respective ring of fame. Some things we just can't answer because we, as not in Kevin Stefanski's heads, we don't here it is, Ocho. Here's Kevin Stefanski.
Now, Shannon knows darn well what's in that man's head. It's called racism and hatred. That's what it is. That's what's in there, singing loud and proud, okay? Myron said, I love this sister. I've been listening to her for a few years. Thank you, beloved. I love you right back. Thank you for your kind words. Shannon, please sit down somewhere. You know exactly what's going on. He just doesn't want to say it. Honey, I wish I was one of those sports commentators because they've been fired me by the time I got through going in, okay, and just telling the whole truth about the Browns organization collectively and specifically Kevin Stefanski. Like, the hatred is just so obvious to me. He's doing everything he can to pave the way for Dylan Gabriel, and he needs to. That's what he should be doing. That's one of his team or one of his players. Okay? He should be doing all of that. But I would just like to see them do the same thing for Shedeur. But no, they don't want to do that. And since they don't want to play fair, you know, one thing about it is I've always been told that you can't win when you play dirty. Okay? You can't win when you play dirty. At the end of the day, it's all going to go bad for him. I promise you that.
Not letting Shedeur run the 2-minute drill at the end of the game with the Browns. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Kevin, it was obviously a bit of a rough second half for Shedeur and the Browns and the entire Browns offense. But like, why didn't you keep him in for a 2-minute drill? Why did you decide to put the top?
Yeah, obviously we didn't play great as an offense in the second half. That's never on one person. So we can be we can be better in a bunch of areas. And just felt like we wanted to give Snoop a last drive.
Did Shedeur have something wrong with him after the game?
Yeah, he's good.
Walked up to you after taking his walk down to.
Now, he said he wanted to give Snoop a last try. For what? What point was proven by putting Snoop in? At the end of the day, I'm going to skip past this because we already heard what this devil had to say. I already played it.
Let me hit this last one. Give me an opportunity. Nah, we good. We're going to take a look at Snoop.
They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Listen, a blind man can see that. A blind man can see that. Again, for those of you in the chat, I listen, I'm not taking it for him. I'm going to say it again. And I reiterate it. Shedeur Sanders played bad. Based on the circumstances, in the situation he was put in, and the weapons around him, and the offensive line that he had to deal with, that probably won't be on the 53-man roster, that's exactly what you would look like. You could have put Tom Brady out there with that offensive line. He would have looked the exact same way.
Exactly. Now, hold on. El Hombre Negro, now I know you're trolling. Said Snoop needs his chance also, and Snoop helped win the game for the Browns with that same offensive line. Yeah, with what cause? Okay, with what cause? Okay, are you paying attention? Are you paying attention? He was making, the coach, that is, Stefanski, was making impossible calls when Shedeur was out there, and he knew it. Okay? He knew what he was doing. All right, so let's not act like Shedeur just had an effed up game because he was lacking talent or the wherewithal or making poor decisions or whatever. Now, he did make a couple of poor decisions, but at the end of the day, that was all on them. The calls that were made, which were bogus, and the poor offensive line. Okay? All right. Dad said this topic is making some Royals lose their minds, LOL. I know, right? The end of the day. Oh, crazy. Hold on. I'm reading some of these comments. All right, let's get back into it. The end of the day. Listen, like I said, I'm not saying the young man is perfect, whatever. He did have a bad game. But the bottom line is you all hear what the experts are saying. Okay, this was all by design. They knew what they were doing, like Ocho said.
You're going to put Patrick Mahomes out there with that offensive line in that third quarter, in the second half. He would have looked the exact same way. Kevin Stefanski saying we didn't play well in the second half. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously.
You didn't call plays well in the second half. This is what Derek Carr had to say. I need to understand why we don't get to see Shedeur run this 2-minute drill. Wouldn't you want to see your young quarterback operate in this situation, get him more reps for the future? I didn't see the whole game, so maybe he already showed enough. Help me understand this. Jerome Aiden, so Kevin Stefanski gives Dylan Gabriel easy short throws with max protection, and then gives Shedeur bullseye plays with an O-line that looked like they just ate a gang of little Debbies. F you, Browns. Trade Shedeur.
Did you hear the key word? As soon as I stated that he played well, and the first thing I said, what you just read, he gave Dylan Gabriel short throws to get himself in rhythm to get the ball out of his hands. And then in the second half, the play calls were much longer routes that took time to develop, and they know good and well that the offensive line wouldn't be able to hold up. The only reason a quarterback holds on to the ball, sometimes it's coverage sacks, sometimes it's waiting for receivers to get downfield for routes to develop. And they know good and well, good and well, it wasn't going to work. You have an NFL quarterback, an experienced quarterback that's pointing it out. Exactly what I said. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know Derek Carr tweeted that. I didn't even know. But I'm just sitting here watching. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing as a coach, as a head coach, as a coaching staff? I mean, if it's a quarterback competition, put the players in advantageous situations and give them a chance to succeed. It's simple. It's something like you would do on Sunday when Joe Flacco goes out there week 1 against the Cincinnati Bengals. They're going to put him in positions to succeed every quarter, every down. It's just the way the game is played. You play to win the game. I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand.
Mike Hill, I hope Shedeur will eventually end up on a good roster with a coach who wants and believes in him. It's so obvious this league and even the Browns, in a sense, have been trying to send a message to him since the draft, and it's downright disgusting.
Exactly. That's exactly what they've been trying to do. And everybody with sense knows this and can clearly see it. Now, Andrew says, Queen, I have a question for you. Do you think this kid will throw a game because of geometry? I think you mean geometria. No, he's not trying to throw the game. The coach is just trying to set him up for failure, trying to humiliate him and make him look bad. And that's exactly what he did. This isn't anything to do with Shedeur himself. This is all about the coach and the things that he's setting in line to just cause him to fail.
Like I said, I co-sign. I agree with everything that you said. The play was not adequate enough, and Shedeur has to get to a point in time. That's always been his knock. We said this when he was in college. He holds on to the ball too long. You're not going to make every play. The sooner he gets.
Wait a minute, Andrew, are you suggesting, I just thought about this, are you suggesting that this has something to do with gematria? Is that what you're suggesting? That this is all happening because of gematria, not because the coach is just a racist hater who doesn't like Shedeur or his father? Yeah, beloved, I don't think this has anything to do with that. I don't think this has anything to do with numbers or some conspiracy or whatever. This is just pure old hate. That's all.
That in his head, the sooner he comes to that realization, the better off he's gonna be. Do not make a bad play worse. Ocho, the worst thing you could do, Ocho, if I run the wrong route, is drop the ball when he throw it to me. Damn, son, at least you can do is catch it. You done effed up the play. You're someplace you're not supposed to be. Son, if you jump offside, son, just go. Just go ahead. Maybe they missed it, but don't make a bad play worse. And you block the wrong guy, and then you end up holding. Well, damn, son. Shedeur, just speed your process up. Yes, the offensive line wasn't adequate. Yes, the receivers. Give him the plays that you gave him against Carolina. Let him get the ball out of his hands. Let in a situation like that, you let the offense, you let the receivers help you. You put the ball in their hands and says, okay, son, go get 4-5 yards after the catch. As opposed to taking a 5-step drop and trying to push the ball down the field. That is my synopsis of what I saw. Hopefully now, Ocho, hopefully preseason is over. We can stop having these conversations. Joe Flacco's the starting quarterback. Now we need to stop asking these questions. When are we going to see Shedeur? Because you're not going to see Joe Flacco. Something happens to him. If they keep 4 quarterbacks, it's going to be Joe Flacco. It's going to probably be, I don't know. Hell, the way it look like Dylan Gabriel might be 2 now. Kenny Pickett might be 3.
Hey, and you know what also, I'm not saying it scares me, but it worries me. If they've already made a decision, if their mind is already made up as an organization, as a head coach, has them coming out and saying what he said 2 weeks ago about the pick not being his, and Andrew Berry standing by his side and standing by his pick, and for Andrew Berry to have to witness what he saw today, someone that is very intelligent, to be in a position of power that he's in, and to witness what he witnessed today. I'm thinking also, if the decision's already been made to release Shedeur or to cut him in any way, shape, form, or fashion, what scares me is him going to another team. And will teams be willing to be able to deal with someone with the last name Sanders that brings the kind of attention to a team that he does, and he's not even the starting quarterback? You understand what I'm saying? Because that brings a totally different dynamic to a team where it takes away from whoever the starting quarterback is, being Shedeur now coming in and being on that team. You get where I'm going with it? Now it's that he didn't create, but it just comes with the Sanders last name in general.
That's a lot of oxygen being taken up out the room for a guy that's not playing. That's what you're saying. The Browns general manager, Andrew Berry, told the NFL Network, keeping 4 quarterbacks, not much of a decision. We have a room that we like and all the guys in there. We don't really see that as a problem. We more see it as an opportunity. Ocho, my thing is, why are you keeping 4 quarterbacks when clearly one of the quarterbacks you don't actually believe in?
Mm-hmm. I know Andrew Berry and Mr. Haslam. I know they be going at it, boy.
Because it's not like there's sentimentality. Sometimes, Ocho, we hold on to things that have sentimental value to us. Oh man, Ocho, I had this thing so long I just can't let it go. But when there's no sentimentality to it, there's no attachment to it. You just drafted a guy. You drafted a guy in the 5th round. Why are you holding on to him? If you believe he was that good, you would have given him a better opportunity to show you what he can do. From what I could deduce and from what I read, I've never read anything or saw anything that Shedeur Sanders took reps with the 1s or the 2s, except when Gabriel got hurt, and then they were playing that Friday, and he took reps that Wednesday, Thursday. Other than that, excuse me.
Hombre Negro says Shedeur Sanders was trying to push the football downfield, what the Rams wasn't giving up on defense. Take what the defense give you at times or throw the football away. Sanders had chances at that. Well, I think we already said that, okay, El Hombre Negro. I think we already all agreed on that, okay? Ocho and Shannon even mentioned it as well, all right? Please pay attention. You're saying what people have already said, all right? I said that myself. Yeah, he made some bad choices, but look what he had to work with. That's the point. Okay.
Prior to that, there was not a situation where I read what Mary Kay Cabot was writing and I read what others had written that I saw that Shedeur Sanders had taken reps with the ones and twos. So if he's not taking ones and twos, and you would think after what he did in the Carolina game, that's normally what happens, chat. I'm telling you what normally happens. When a guy, if he's down on the depth chart and he plays good in a preseason game, they normally come in and that practice back, he's like, I want to see what the guy can do with the ones and the twos. No matter the position, be it quarterback, running back, wide receiver, O-line, D-line, linebacker, cornerback. I'm telling you, that's normally how it works. You're talking to a guy that was in a very similar situation. And y'all say, well, Shedeur, you always inserting yourself. I'm inserting myself because I'm telling you, I was in a situation like Shedeur. He was a 5th rounder. I was a 7th rounder. I was like 6th or 7th on the.
Shedeur, nobody cares, bro.
1 and 2s.
Having insurance isn't the same.
Do that again. Maybe it was because he's going against guys that's not going to be there. But let's see if he can compete against guys that we know are going to be there on Sunday. So this is a very similar situation with Shedeur. I would have thought, you would have thought, because we had this conversation, Ocho, he gonna get some reps now. 1 and 2.
So we thought based on our experience and what happens when you play well. But listen, outside of that, Joe Flacco, that boy looked good. He looked good. Dylan Gabriel came in. God damn, Dylan Gabriel looked good. Very efficient. Passes coming out, everything sharp, went down, touchdown. And then, obviously 12 didn't play good today. He didn't. And I've said it over and over for those in the chat. I know we have our Shedeur haters who don't like him. He didn't play well. Can you hear me? But in most of those that are hating too, they don't watch football. They don't understand football. They don't understand the ins and outs and what makes
the intricacies of football.
They don't know.
That you and I that played the game understand the nuances.
Listen, we see it. We see it clear as day. But they just on it. Oh, he played bad. He's ass. He sucked. He's a 5th rounder. He's not that good. Well, of course, yes, based on what you saw today. But we're trying to tell you why it looked that way.
El hombre negro, you're entitled to your opinion, beloved, but sadly, you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, the experts are saying it. Anybody who thinks like you doesn't know about football. You don't know what you're talking about. So to you, now you're saying they're tripping. Okay, well, they're experts and you aren't. So I think that it would be safe to assume that we should listen to them and not you. All right? That's just what that looks like.
But that's neither here nor there. It is what it is. They made a decision. They have to lie in the bed with it. So listen, I'm happy for him.
This is why I watch the game with no sound. I don't want someone to contaminate my mind and I regurgitate what somebody else said. Also, the reason why I watch, fans are only interested in the end result.
That's it.
I'm trying to figure out why we got said result. It's not good enough that they scored a touchdown. I need to know why. Let me see the formation. Let me see what the guy did. Let me see the defensive coverage. Was it just a great route? Did he just beat? Sometimes, Ocho, you just beat the guy. And that's okay. You get paid, he gets paid. Sometimes Ocho just gonna win because Ocho was just the better player. Sometimes the defensive back is gonna win. He wins some, you win more than you lose. Sometimes, who blew the assignment? Was it the safety? Was he getting greedy, paying attention to the tight end on the over when he should have been deep middle? What did the corner? Why did he not shovel the receiver down inside and sink? Why was he still so far? Why was he so close up when there's nothing to threaten the flat? I'm analyzing all of that. It's just not good enough for me to know that they scored. I'm trying to see why they scored. And then I'm going to tell you, based on my experience, having played the game, having studied the game, this is what I think happened. So Ocho and I, what we're trying to do, we're not making excuses for Shedeur. Shedeur has to do a better job of not making a bad situation worse.
Hey, I was so confused tonight too, Let me tell you something. I rarely do this. And I watched the game for a long time. So I thought maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping based on what I'm seeing, and maybe I'm not seeing it correctly. Hell, I picked up the phone. I called TJ. I call Hoosh. And I'm like, Hoosh, am I tripping? Or did I see what I thought I just saw when 12 went in the game? He's like, yeah. You could tell that was a bunch of, you know what? You know, TJ don't care. He just go off. TJ went off the rock on the phone. Yeah. Why would you put him in that situation? I said, okay, I just want to, if I heard it from you and I know how you know how TJ, he gonna tell it like it is. He don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to make sure I wasn't tripping. I just want to make sure I wasn't, but from hearing from another mouth that actually played the goddamn game, the receiver position, that also knows the game extremely well, all the intricacies that come with it. Okay, boom, I know I wasn't tripping.
All right, so you all heard that. That was very good commentary as far as I'm concerned, and I agree with everything they said. Okay, I absolutely do. Now, let's go to some of these TikTok videos to see what other people have to say about it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Given what we saw yesterday with Shedeur Sanders, somebody on the Cleveland Browns is 100% getting fired, probably by the end of this year. The person who's probably going to end up getting fired is Kevin Stefanski, because I know that he didn't want Shedeur Sanders on the team. It was Andrew Berry who made that pick. You can't really go against your GM. Bad things happen in this situation. But Shedeur Sanders is not without fault for what we saw yesterday. This is the play that we saw yesterday that has the internet just exploding, where Shedeur Sanders took like a 24-yard sack. Half of the internet is saying that this is all Kevin Stefanski's fault. The other half is saying it's Shedeur Sanders' fault. Listen, if you go back and watch that clip, kind of Shedeur Sanders' fault. He had good pass protection, but everybody was blaming Kevin Stefanski, saying, oh, he was giving Shedeur the tough routes and waiting for players to develop while he gives Dylan Gabriel the easy short routes to throw. If Shedeur Sanders steps up in the pocket, he's not taking a 24-yard sack. He may still get sacked, but he's not getting sacked 24 yards down the field. And this is just a back-and-forth saga now where everybody thinks that Kevin Stefanski hates Shedeur Sanders, but Andrew Berry drafted Shedeur Sanders. This is an absolute mess. And I think either what's going to happen is Kevin Stefanski won't play Shedeur Sanders all year, even if the Cleveland Browns are in a bad position. Andrew Berry is going to fire him. Or Kevin Stefanski is going to prove Andrew Berry right, but Andrew Berry won't get fired because he only gave up a fifth-round pick on Shedeur Sanders. Does that make sense? I think what's probably going to happen is Kevin Stefanski is going to lose his job. Andrew Berry, sometime down the road, is going to get fired. Shedeur's going to get cut, and then he'll have from what we're seeing, he'll have a decent career in the NFL. He'll probably go to like an offensive system where somebody like an Andy Reid or a Sean McVay, and he'll revitalize his career. He'll kind of be like Baker after he got done playing for the Browns. So, listen, somebody's getting in big trouble with this whole Shedeur Sanders situation. What do you think?
I think it's easy for people to sit on the sidelines and try to pretend that they're coaches or that they could have done better. That's what I think. Okay, but let me continue.
A lot of times with these coaches and coaches like Kevin Stefanski, it's ego over execution, it's plays over players. At the end of the day, you got to give this kid a shot to redeem himself. That's the beauty of being a rookie. You're going to go out there, you're going to struggle, you're going to have some success, you're going to struggle again, but you want to see them come out on the other side. Now, Shedeur had 5 sacks, 5 drives, just was trying to impress coaches, the fans, trying to live up to what Dylan Gabriel just put out there on the field. And Kevin Stefanski handled that situation and this whole quarterback competition horribly, because you removed an opportunity for him to redeem himself in that situation, to go out as a winner. And again, it's not just we all see it. Players on the team sees it. Players on the opposing team see it. They know what's going on. They know what's going down, but it's all about Kevin Stefanski's ego. We saw this with Baker Mayfield. Oh, it doesn't fit my system. Well, your system has to be about the players that are in it. And
do you all see these comments on the screen? These are where people commented saying, why don't they put Gabriel in the position of Sanders to see how he fares? Yeah, they would never do that. Somebody says, I blame Kevin Stefanski for how he's handled this whole situation. Someone else says, at F-ball game plan on Kevin Stefanski, not allowing Shedeur Sanders to redeem himself against the Rams.
Seen him do this because the offense was completely different when Dylan Gabriel was out there. It was a lot of, short, quick passes to get the ball out of his hands, spread the formation, which is great. That's what you're supposed to do for a guy that thrives in that situation. So I don't know why for Shedeur, the offense changed. He kind of wanted to curate something around him. But at the end of the day, Shedeur recognized he had to play better. That game looked a lot like that UCLA game his first year in Colorado. But I blame Stefanski for how he's handled this whole situation because it doesn't look very coach of the year leadership like to me.
Exactly. And why is he always winning coach of the year when he's trash as a coach? Okay. Anyway, with that all being said, retired federal police Banks, thank you for your kind words. Keep up the great work, Professor. Thank you, beloved, and thank you for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. I appreciate you. Now let's go to this last video.
Let's talk about this boy, Shedeur Sanders. I'm just going to be honest. If you watch the game today against the Rams and you know some type of ball, you know it was designed for him to fail today. Well, why you say that, Rev? Well, he was in the game with a bunch of players that probably weren't even going to make the roster. This man was in the backfield fighting for his life. And then once he finally get a ball off, the player he throw it to can't catch the ball. It just seemed like they had a game plan to make this man fail today just because they want Dylan Gabriel to be in front of him in the depth chart. But I'm going to be honest with you. Dylan Gabriel is not better than Shedeur Sanders. Y'all can say what you want, but I'm just telling you like it is. Y'all seen last preseason game that he played when you started him? What'd he do? He gave you productive numbers. And he looked sharp. Like I always tell y'all, when it's all said and done, this going to be the man for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I don't think so. They hate him too much. Now let's go to this because Deion Sanders Jr. made a very interesting post after what happened. I almost forgot about this. Shedeur Sanders' brother, Deion Jr., makes another strange post after Browns game. Will he file a lawsuit against the NFL? I don't know why they're asking that. Did he say something about filing a lawsuit? Okay, so Deion Sanders Jr. expressed disappointment over his brother Shedeur's limited play time during the Browns preseason game. He shared another strange post after he expressed his disappointment over Kevin Stefanski's gesture toward his brother Shedeur Sanders during the Browns' final preseason game. In their preseason finale, the Cleveland Browns quarterback contest took an unexpected turn that involved more than just the field. NFL icon Deion Prime Sanders, his son, rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders, was pulled out for a crucial portion of the 2-minute drill. In addition to creating a lot of social media discussion, the decision displeased several of his family members. Deion Sanders Jr., Shedeur's older brother, posted a mysterious Bible verse on X after the game. He said, "Let my enemies be overthrown by the very wickedness they planned for me." That's Psalms 140, verse 9. The ambiguous yet moving remarks seem to be a direct response to Shedeur's lack of opportunities in comparison to his quarterback teammates. All right. And so meanwhile, X users reacted to Shedeur's post. I'm sorry, to Sanders' post, with one saying, Shedeur be putting fries in the bag next week. Somebody said that's what Donald Trump should end all his posts with. And then someone said they gave Shedeur zero protection today. I truly dislike how they're treating him, but you have to give everything to God and he will make your enemies your footstool. Stay strong, Shedeur and family. We see what's going on. This is what a third reporter or supporter commented. So anyway, they say after his previous post garnered a lot of attention, Sanders took to X to post, "Trust God." And then somebody said, "Tell Shedeur to keep his head up. We're still praying and rooting for him." Someone else says, "Please file a lawsuit against the NFL. It is so blatant. You got to do something at this point." And then head coach Kevin Stefanski explained Shedeur's absence, saying it was part of the plan to get other quarterbacks some experience. Stefanski remarked that Shedeur is a competitive kid, but added that the plan was to go with Snoop. Yeah, we already know what the plan was, but why was that the plan? Okay, I love how he deflected on that question. Anyway, that all being said, it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, so we had a few trolls in here today. All right, JFG said the NFL is rigged. Bottom line is, it's also racist. Okay, so with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. Listen, we all see what's going on here. Okay, Stevie Wonder can see what's going on. This is just a whole lot of BS, and they're absolutely setting Shedeur Sanders up to fail. Okay, now he did what he could do, and of course he made mistakes. But you know, when that's the hand you're given, what do? Just like Ocho said, you could have put Tom Brady in there. Okay, Mahomes, and they still would have looked as bad. All right. So Juju said we need to make our own NFL. Exactly. I wish they would. Okay, so anyway, thank you, Miss Mississippi says, great broadcast, Queen. Thank you, beloveds. So listen, I love you all to life. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And I will see you all in the morning for your morning wake-up call. Peace.
With that flavor all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got